We're here with Alexis and Sahali, who just won the 2022 to 2023 co-chair elections. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So me and Hannah just wanted to ask you a couple questions. So first of all, what drew you both to wanting to apply to co-chair initially?
For me personally, I felt like it was really positive vibes when I was a freshman, and I feel like I really wanted to portray that positive energy to the underclassmen and make mornings more interesting and more fun and more engaging for underclassmen.
Yeah, I felt that being around previous co-chairs like Kaio and Caleb, I feel like I was kind of drawn to the leadership and basically the example that they were leaving and they left on the school. I felt like I wanted to be part of that change, part of that movement to basically make the school better, which I've seen that they have done.
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, you both want to make morning meetings more engaging. As you've seen, sometimes people can fall asleep at morning meetings. So what are your plans to make morning meetings more engaging for students and faculty?
Previously, like I said in my speech, I want morning meetings to be more student-oriented, and I want students to basically have a say in how we basically do morning meetings. I feel like morning meetings are kind of just administrative, and basically students don't get to have a say in whether they have something more engaging or something more enjoyable they want to have in morning meetings to keep them awake and more concentrated, more focused. So I feel like having more students say in what happens in morning meeting is a great thing we should introduce.
For me personally, I feel like in my speech, in my co-chair speech, I was like, hey, so most definitely we're going to do that and change it up. I also want to do a lot more student activities in the sense that it's not only teachers doing or giving announcements or teachers giving announcements. I want a lot more students, especially from the younger grades who aren't in the CBT, to come in and do more activities that are more student-led. Yeah.
I personally can't wait to see the changes that are going to come to morning meeting next year.
Yeah,
both of you guys have really great energy and also some really great policies that you guys were both talking about in your candidacy statements and in your speeches. So Alexis, I want to ask you a little bit about a policy that seems really important to you, which is academic transparency.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Academic transparency is a really big thing for me, especially at Masters, because I feel like a lot of students often get caught up with all the responsibilities that they have. They have Gold Key, they have diversity in Masters. There's so many things, they have sports, there's so many things that they're doing that they often can get messed up, not messed up, but are preoccupied with a lot of things, and with grades and tests. I feel like it is really important for students to be able to see their grades and be on top of their grades, on top of all the responsibilities they have. So being able to have teachers have an open grade book for them to be able to check monthly, semester-wise, so they're not doing all their final assignments that 1 week before is really important to me and to academic transparency.
Do you think that transparency is going to benefit the master's community as a whole and help students with their stress levels and help them get more on top of their work?
Yeah, I most definitely think so, because I feel like knowing that you have 10 million assignments 1 week before the deadlines is a lot more stressful than knowing that you have homework assignments and there are ways to improve it.
Yeah, completely.
And Sahali, we all know that there are so many students at Masters who participate in many different types of sports. We have so many different opportunities here for students to get involved in the athletics. And I know something that you really wanted to do was to make sports equipment more accessible for students. So how are you going to go about that for next year?
Yeah, good question. I'm still drafting up the idea because honestly, I first thought of basically having financial aid be something that basically provides the equipment for certain students on financial aid to be able to get the sports equipment that they need, no matter what sport they decide to play. While also I'm trying to make it more accessible to people who are not on as much financial aid, so the gap of how much percentage you get from the school. I feel like there should also be some donations as well as other stuff we can do inside of school to be able to allow people to have the sports equipment that they need and to be able to basically include everyone in the sports and other team community building opportunities no matter what financial situation you may have.
And then I have another policy question for you, Alexis.
Okay, thank you.
So I know that you do a lot of sports. You
Yeah.
do tennis and swimming and lacrosse,
Yeah.
and you were talking a little bit about wanting to reevaluate the ACR requirement. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So as a 3-sport athlete, I completely understand my personal drive to continue to pursue my sports all 4 years throughout my master's career. But I feel like a lot of the underclassmen are kind of quote unquote forced to be on the team because of the ACR requirement, and I feel like that doesn't really help build a master's environment, especially on the field, in the pool, on the courts. I feel like if we have the ACR requirement more lenient, it's gonna make it feel more fun to be a part of those be a part of those sports co-curriculars. Yeah.
And then for you, Zahali, I know during executive committee, there's not a large number of students who go to those meetings. It's mostly just the co-chairs or class presidents who attend those meetings. So what is your plan to try, I know you want to include more of the student population on their perspectives on bills and what their ideas are. So what is your plan to try to get more students included in the creation of new bills?
Yeah, my initial plan is basically to make the idea apparent of whatever proposal we're having during an EC meeting to like the school, or like either morning meeting or like email or like anything to basically make the idea known. And I feel like we should have more accessible times for students, because a lot of students take lunchtime in order to like, spend time with their friends that they haven't seen in like the first 2 periods. It's not very accessible for most of the school population that I've seen. And I feel like we should have other times, maybe after school, like maybe certain blocks of time that we have where all students can basically have free time where they're not doing other stuff, to be able to have a discussion about the proposals that are important for like the whole school and the whole school community.
Well, those are all the questions that we had for you guys. We're really excited to see what you guys accomplish next year. And again, congratulations on winning.
Thank you.